Now, if you look behind me, you can actually see the police car still there. It is wrapped around the utility pole.
Other protesters were also arrested after blocking this section of South Union Street. I reached out to McLennan Enterprises today. While the search is on tonight for the person responsible for this triple murder. While the bill passed in the Senate yesterday, it was a close 14-13 vote.
City leaders and residents insist that FEMA needed to go inside the homes to really see what was going on. You can see damage on the outside, but once inside, you see completely gutted homes.
The last time the thieves hit Petaway's property is when they were taking these transmissions, dragging them along the floor, carrying them out this door where he confronted them.
Where do we go? Stand up, fight back.
One by one, protesters of Alabama's immigration law were surrounded by Montgomery police, handcuffed, and hauled off to the city jail in a school bus.
I am not afraid of being deported. That's a risk that I'm willing to take.
They are protesting what some call the toughest law against illegal immigration in the nation. Although people like Krishna Avila live here undocumented, he says he's unafraid.
I'm tired of living in fear, or I'm tired of my community living in fear.
After ignoring 2 warnings from police, Avila was arrested, along with 10 others. Diana Rebolado watched as her mother was escorted away by police.
How do you feel right now?
I'm very proud because it's the first time that we see our parents actually joining the movement and, standing up for families and for, that value of and moral of like family unity and, because HB 56 is what it does. It separates families.
And the battle wasn't just in the streets. 2 more protesters sat arm in arm on the floor of the State House. They hand-delivered a note hoping State Senator Scott Beason, the sponsor of the immigration bill, would respond.
We sat down and we're not going to move to hear a response back from Senator Beason.
They didn't get that response, and they too were arrested.
They have the right to fight back. They're here and they pay taxes, and they're also American, and this law is injustice.
The protesters say they hope to send a message that the law is racist and unfair, and they are willing to fight for their lives.
This is our lives right here. I mean, there is no line for us to stand, and there is no way for us to legalize and to become documented.
With the flip of a switch and a helping hand from Carmen Jamet,
come on, Tigger,
this amazing Christmas scene suddenly comes to life.
They really have the Christmas spirit. They really love Christmas.
Like really pretty lights, and every year I see this house and they always add something more to it.
And I made the sleigh. I actually made the sleigh, so that's...
How long did it take you to make this?
I probably got about 40 hours in it.
And hours have been spent in it. Jamet estimates in the 20 years he's been putting this Christmas show on display, at least 100,000 people have stopped by to lay their eyes on the lights.
So I start the second week of October, and then I take a full week off the first week of November.
The whole scene takes weeks of work to set up so that Jamet can throw the switch for the first time Thanksgiving night.
If you enjoy doing it, it's not work.
These halls are definitely decked from top to bottom, but the crowd pleaser and my personal favorite is none other than Santa Claus and his reindeer.
The sleigh and the reindeers and Santa Claus chair and the Christmas tree.
That's all just a small piece of the big picture. There's snowmen, flying reindeer, a peekaboo Santa Claus, a beautiful nativity scene that returns every year. All of it's lighting up the neighborhood and the faces of the children who come by to see it.
He likes the lights.
Even though the upkeep is expensive and their power bill triples this time of year, people do give back, keeping the Christmas spirit alive on Del Rita Parkway.
I enjoy seeing the smile on the children's face and the adults too. But when the little children come up and they look and their eyes get real big and they just got that amazed look in their eyes, that's my payback right there.
This is from when he was just 2 and we were outside together at his party.
Lance Martin Jr., full of life and always the one to make you laugh. That's the way his mother, Lisa Martin, describes him.
He was the second best person I know, and his dad's the first. And I want people to know that sometimes God takes the ones that are so good to have an impact on the rest of us.
But his family couldn't have known that on June 19th, his life would be taken from him in a car crash, just 5 days before his 26th birthday.
We got there right after the ER doctor had pronounced him dead.
Of course, it was an incredible and total shock. We weren't able to be with him when he passed.
It was here on Highway 31, just north of Prattville, where that fatal crash happened. Lance Martin Jr. lost his life, and the life of another was completely changed forever.
It adds to the sadness that a young 19-year-old is in this circumstance.
Lauren Hardy, 19 at the time of the crash, now 20, has been charged with criminally negligent homicide, and authorities believe alcohol did play a role. But Lisa Martin says she doesn't blame her.
We all make mistakes, and I don't believe she set out to make that mistake that day.
She just hopes her story will help save someone else's child.
If the Lord works to help other teens by watching this and by seeing the pain and agony that we will go through, and most likely that she will go through, then JR would have stepped up and done that for somebody.